I'd like to tell you about the retreats I have coming up. It's it's such a joy and a pleasure for me to go on retreat and to do work in person with people. And my travel schedule is such that I don't do that many in-person events. So when we can get together and do the work in person, it's a powerful opportunity for us to have deep heart healing and to really connect. One of the great joys about doing retreats and intensives in person is people connect with others and they form a deep bond, and then they actually become friends. The work that we do together in my in-person events is so deep, so life-changing, so powerful that people want to continue those relationships. They want to share as they continue spiraling up and healing when they go back home. I do a forgiveness retreat. I've been doing it once a year now for a couple of years, and it's one of my favorite things to do, because to dedicate the whole weekend to forgiving yourself and forgiving others, you have amazing results that just open up your heart, open up your life, allow you to finally let go of the past, to let go of the grievance, to let go of the guilt and the shame and the blame, the regret and the resentment. It's the greatest gift of self-love that you can give yourself. Many times people ask me, Jennifer, I don't know how to love myself. You keep talking about self-love, but I don't even know how to begin with that. What do I do? How do I love myself? And the answer is forgiveness. Forgiveness is the greatest tool we have in our toolkit. This is what A Course in Miracles tells us. And many times we will resist doing that inner work because it just feels too big, too scary. It's like getting in a little boat and getting out on the ocean all by yourself to try and do it by yourself. But when we go as a group, you have people to hold on to. You have me to hold on to, because we're there together in the same room. And then as one person has a breakthrough, another person has a breakthrough, it ripples around the room. My retreats are small groups of committed people, people who are willing, people who come from all kinds of backgrounds. You know, it's just a whole mix of people. But we have one thing in common, which is we're willing to love ourselves enough to let the past go and to live without suffering. So that's the purpose of our getting together for these retreats. And one of the things that I have to share with you is the testimonials on the retreat page of people who 9 months later, how they're feeling. They can see what a difference it made in their life. Their life is changing. It truly is spiraling upward. And they know it's because of what they did starting at that retreat. Now, my Forgive and Be Free retreat is 4 days. It's 3 nights. And it's fairly intensive. But one of the hallmarks of my events is it's amazing how much fun we can have, how much laughter we can have, how much play we can have, while also doing the deep, deep work. I like to bounce it out. You know me, I like to have fun. I have a great sense of humor, and I got to remember to laugh. So we do that together. Otherwise, it's too hard. It's too hard if we can't laugh too. So that's the thing. And one of my favorite things is to see the difference in the way people look at the beginning and at the end. You know, I really should take before and after pictures, because that's the greatest gift, is I see those faces when we finish the last day of the retreat. Wow, there's such a difference. People are glowing. They're luminous. They're light-filled, and you can see it. They're ready to take it back home and really live it and walk it. And they have let go of so much, and they've expanded into so much inspiration as well. So I'm doing my Forgive and Be Free retreat, followed immediately by my Spiritual Counseling Training Intensive. And why am I doing that? Because we've got a number of people who are coming to the Spiritual Counseling Training Intensive who are also going to the Forgive and Be Free retreat, and there's a discount if you attend. attend both. This is my policy is, if I can get you to get in the room with me, then we are going to do some deep work together. We are going to let the past go together, and I like to maximize our time together. So that's why I build the Spiritual Counseling Training Intensive right on top of the Forgive and Be Free retreat. Now, here's a few things about the Spiritual Counseling Training Intensive that you might not know. It's open to anyone. And indeed, we have all kinds of people come. We have people who are professionals, who have been therapists for even decades. We have people who have been life coaches for a long time. We have people who are family therapists. We have people who are professional business coaches. We have professional business people, attorneys and accountants and different people like that. We have people who are interested in improving their relationships and their ability to communicate with their loved ones, and that's the reason they're coming. There's always a fair number of people who come to the intensive for their own deep listening and learning, to increase their intuition, to be better communicators, better listening in their relationships with their children and their grandchildren. So it's a whole group of people. Everybody's got different incentives, different motivations, and a different agenda. And some people are interested in entering into my spiritual counseling certification program, and that's this intensive is part of the requirements of my certification program. But many people come just because they'd like to do this deep inner work together. It's powerful. It is an intensive, and so we do it like an intensive. It's a week-long training. It is a professional training, but it's open to anyone. And the other thing that I can tell you that I think is really important, in addition to all the healing that people have, which you can read about on the web page, you know, people get to know themselves at a deeper level and love themselves at a deeper level. Because in my spiritual counseling training intensive, one of the main focuses for us is letting go of that deep sense of unworthiness that so many light workers have, right? It's the biggest problem in the human race is people feel unworthy. And one of the things that comes up so strongly for people who feel called to be a professional light worker or to coach other people or counsel other people, even if they're counseling them as an attorney or an accountant or any kind of profession where they might be counseling them, one of the biggest issues is they feel so strongly, who am I? Who am I to be telling anybody anything? Who am I to be counseling someone? I have so many problems in my own life. How could I ever give anyone else support? How could I ever help anybody else solve their issues when my issues are still in my face? So we really work on that, and that's what I love about the spiritual counseling training intensive. I have to say I get really emotional when I think about it, because I feel like I'm living my passion. I feel like I'm really answering the call to support people who also want to answer their call. So we eliminate that sense of unworthiness. It's something I really know how to do. I've learned, I've honed. I've been a spiritual counselor for so many years, since 2000, and I've worked with so many people one-on-one. I have worked with ministers and practitioners and people in all kinds of professions, and this is something that I've really learned how to help people do, and it is a joy for me to do it. That's another thing, is in our spiritual counseling training intensive is people bond so deeply. They fall in love with themselves and with each other, and they have breakthroughs that are beyond what they ever thought they could get when they signed up for the intensive. So what I'm working on now is things that you can do before you come, so that you can truly get the most out of these in-person events, and then we can follow up together. There's so many ways to follow up together. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of more of them just now as I'm making this video for you. So here's the thing. I make these events as absolutely rock bottom affordable as I possibly can to encourage as many people to come. And remember too, you can get CEUs, continuing education units. We'll help you do that if you just ask us. But I also will give you a payment plan to support you so that you will say yes to your destiny, to live your call, to have better relationships, to let go of the unworthiness, to let go of the resentments and the regrets and the guilt and the blame from the past. Now is the time for us to free ourselves. Oh my gosh, there is so much intense pushing from the invisible to support us in making this choice to love ourselves free of every limiting thought and belief so that we can shine the light and live our destiny and answer our call. So we will give you a payment plan that works for you. I don't know anybody else who will do a payment plan where you don't have to pay for everything up front. But I'm committed to doing that because nobody has let us down in not paying their payment plan. And so I am here to really, truly be helpful. And I love doing this work. So I invite you to answer the call if you feel called. Yes, I know you'll know it. If it calls to you, trust your intuition. Let's do this together. And if you'd like to talk with someone to see if it's right for you, someone who's been doing this work, someone who can just answer your questions, no salesperson, we can set that up and give you the opportunity to talk with someone who has been on one of these intensives or the retreat so that you can feel confident deciding if it's for you or not. How many ways can we love you and support you? We're thinking of new ones all the time. God bless you. Mwah!